What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Juju the Gamer on Juju Sports Corner, and man, oh man, oh man, do we have something to talk about today. I did not expect to be talking about it, but there was some new information that Ross Dellinger had just put out on the Twitterverse, on the Twitter sphere, that I feel like now is a pretty good time to talk about it. I had already made a video talking about Ncaa on this channel. It's one of my earliest videos, but I did talk about Ncaa, and with all that's been happening lately in regards to, you know, whether it's Jordan Addison or Nico, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name because I don't want to butcher it, but that high school quarterback that just committed to Tennessee, possibly getting $8 million, bruh. Miami's basketball, with, I want to say, Nigel Pack getting $800K for 2 years, and then Isaiah Wong on the day of the draft said, yo, I was one of those players on the Elite 8. I helped bring us there. Y'all need to pay me more. Which, you know, looking back on it, that's basically a bonus. You know, you perform well at your job, you get a bonus, you get a raise. That's what I equip that situation to. But let me pull up this intro. If you've already have not done so, please make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that bell notification. And if you have any other crazy college football fans like myself, make sure you share out this video. Now I'm gonna see if I can get this done because I'm trying to I'm trying to go to the movies. It's Doctor Strange time. So Ross Dellinger, he said, here we go, something to note. NCAA officials have told Sports Illustrated that they do not expect sanctions to impact player eligibility, but schools will be sanctioned for not controlling the boosters. Now, I would pretty much say everybody would probably say the boosters have gotten pretty much out of control in regards to recruiting these players. But here's my issue with this. Are the boosters wrong for doing this? I don't know. Like, their heart is in the right place. They are trying to make sure these kids are well compensated for their, you know, their talents. Because if you become a 3-star to 5-star athlete, let's just say anywhere between 3 to 5 star, you are already probably better than just about 80% of America. Just outright probably better. No, not probably, are better than 80% of Americans. Anybody playing ball, any sport, you're probably already better than just about every normal everyday people like myself. And you know, that was the whole point of Ncaa, was to make sure that these athletes are getting what they deserve, that they are getting fairly compensated. But if college football has taught you anything, if they have taught you anything, if you have not watched the Miami documentary, the SMU documentary, and a bunch of other documentaries, the NCAA really didn't see that these boosters would go out of control. They really didn't foresee that happening. But now the NCAA wants to go back and start putting sanctions. Here's my issue with that. As I try to pull up this, because I dove into the article. Here's my issue with that. The NCAA is notoriously slow when it comes to investigations. I should know because Mizzou got, we self-reported something and then got a bowl ban like 3 years later. Just nuts. But you know, in this article, they brought up this exact situation I'm about to reference. I would say, what was it, last month? No, March. No, it probably was April. Yeah, it's May now. In April, we just saw the Kansas basketball team win a national championship, right? In that same month, we also saw the entire LSU basketball team transfer out and fire their coach. The Arizona coach, Sean Miller, is now at, but no, he's now at, is it Dayton? No. Well, Sean Miller is now coaching elsewhere, you know. But what I'm trying to say is, these schools in basketball was already doing something like this. You know what I'm saying? They were already doing. That was my flash drive. They was already doing something like this. So much so that people went to jail. Literally, there's people sitting in jail for basically being the middleman between brands like Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, and the school telling them that, hey, we really want this kid to come here. Can you really help us out? Can you help us get him? There's people in jail for that now. There are people in jail for that. And we just saw Kansas, who is on wiretap. It's on wiretap of blatantly committing this crime. Just won a national title. That was 5 years ago. So that's how slow the NCAA investigations are. That's all I'm about to say, how slow these investigations are. But let's dive into this article. So one of the first things I read was that college leaders are strongly urging the NCAA enforcement team to begin investigating what they deem to be obvious recruiting violations past and present. Donor-led collectives that have struck deals with players before they signed binding letters of intent are violating rules, says George, one of the leaders of an NCAA working group that will soon publicize additional O'Neal. All right, I'm gonna give my total thoughts afterward. So this is another one that I read. It was like, the guidance clarifies existing NCAA bylaws that prohibit boosters from being involved in recruiting any booster or booster-led collective that have been found to have associated with prospects about recruiting on another college team or in high school will be found to have violated NCAA rules and will put the booster schools at risk of sanctions. I'm going to just stop there. Because you can already guess. You can already guess some of the schools that might get hit with this. Miami, Tennessee, A&M, probably a bunch of other SEC schools. I'm going to be honest with you. USC. There's going to be, probably Oregon. There's going to be some teams that are going to get hit with this. Let's continue on. George says, in addition, a booster or booster-run collectives cannot communicate with a student-athlete or others affiliated with a student-athlete. Cannot communicate with a student-athlete or others to encourage them to remain enrolled or attend an institution. The boosters can't have no contact with the students, trying to persuade them to stay or come to their school, basically. And this is the last one. I'm going to see if I probably should have made this a bit bigger. But NCAA enforcement has been less willing and perhaps unable to enforce existing bylaws. George and Smith say, for one, the organization is concerned that any enforcement will spark a bevy of antitrust legal challenges. Secondly, the NCAA enforcement staff is ill-equipped for a full-scale nationwide inquiry. It is down 15 to 20 members from COVID. And a warning shot at the NCAA itself. Pac-12 Commissioner George Kliavkoff, I just said that first time, told SI on Wednesday, if the NCAA does not start enforcing existing bylaws, leaders will find an alternate solution, but did not specify what those solutions could be. Amid the uncertainty, Kliavkoff and SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey traveled to Washington, D.C. on Thursday for meetings with key U.S. senators in hope of further encouraging them to pass federal NIL legislation, which many believe will be the only practical solution for the latest mess, but is unlikely to pass this year. Now, you're probably all saying, what in the world does this mean? It means that the NCAA is trying to retroactively sanction schools and booster-run collectives, that might hit a bunch of different schools. And when this happens, said boosters that are probably working with lawyers to make sure this is in accordance to state laws are going to end up countersuing the NCAA, because how are you going to put a cap on someone earning money in America? Yeah, that's damn near un-American in itself. George Clarkov and Greg Sankey meeting with the U.S. senators and trying to get some help on, federal legislation for NIL is interesting because there have been a lot of rumors going around that, eventually football is going to break away from the NCAA. And with the NCAA basically having no power at the moment, their power has decreased. And I feel like the NCAA is realizing that if they try and sanction the boosters of the schools and said boosters would sue back, all their power would just be like that, will be gone. And so I think George Clarkov and Greg Sankey met with the senators to try and pass some nationwide rules that to have some sort of guidelines that every school is set to follow, that these boosters have set to follow. It's a hot mess because the NCAA is going back and trying to sanction people that are already in deals. And when that happens, because it's probably going to happen soon, actually, those boosters are going to get their highly paid and probably really powerful lawyers and sue the NCAA right back and be like, no, we were in accordance to all these state laws and such, that we actually followed the rules. And why are you trying to put a cap on these students making money, on these athletes making money? And this is, I had mentioned this before, this is like a chink in the armor. The NCAA is dwindling, and the Ohio State AD, the Notre Dame AD basically said, while it might not be soon, but there might be a breakaway for football in order to have some nationwide rules. And what I mean by breakaway is that certain Power 5 schools, the elite of the elite of the elite, and those probably a tier lower, will form their own conferences like in the NFL. So that's just like a rumor, but it doesn't sound too crazy. It doesn't sound too crazy when you have the Ohio State AD, who's one of the most powerful ADs in the country, and a Notre Dame AD, who's also another really powerful AD, and both of them saying, yeah, football could break away from the NCAA and, be under the playoff, have it form under the playoff, all these different teams from around the country could be under just one umbrella, have a set rule, have a set NIL pool, yada, yada, yada. This is basically a minor league, a G League for the NFL. I don't know, man. This is really interesting, but I just don't see the NCAA winning or having much effect because I've said this before. If they try and sue the boosters, those boosters are going to get their lawyer friends and sue them right back. And the NCAA will lose in court because anything over like the last decade, the NCAA has taken nothing but L's in court. Starting from the O'Bannon case, they have taken nothing but L's since then. So this is going to be a really interesting time in terms of how they're going to do these sanctions and these NIL guides. I don't know, man. College football is getting crazy. There's rumors of a breakaway. We still got the Big Ten TV contract, the SEC TV contract coming up soon. It's about to get wild. It's about to get wild. But hey, it's May now, so we're only a couple more Saturdays away from that first football game, and I cannot wait. But if you're made it far, please make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that bell notification to notify every single time I upload. And if you are as crazy as college football as I am, Well, if you clicked on this video, you probably are just as crazy. Please make sure you share out this video. And man, college football is changing. I don't know if it's for the best, but I do know I'm enjoying these athletes getting paid, because I want all these rumors of, Jordan Addison getting $3 million to be true. These athletes should be getting paid. But I'm out of here. I'm about to go watch Dr. Strange. See you on the next video. Peace.